Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey!
On his brand new phone.
Yeah.
Raw. What do we got? The show begins with the anonymous Raw general manager.
Everybody was so freaking panicky that this was going to be a thing.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody wanted the laptop.
Yeah, and John Cena shut it down immediately.
Yeah, John Cena's got to be the good guy. He's got to shut it down fast.
He gave the anonymous general manager the night off. He knew that all he had to do was just close the laptop and the anonymous general manager would have the night off.
It'd go to standby. It seems that even though Team Cena, Team Authority's over, that heading into TLC-S, as they named it, that it's going to be a whole bunch of Team Cena versus Team Authority matches.
Yeah, it seems to be that way, but we kind of expected that coming out of it anyway.
True.
Because there were a lot of ready-made feuds that were sitting there that came out of that match.
Especially with Big Show and Stairs. We got a tag team turmoil match.
It was a fun tag team match. I knew the moment I heard the Usos were in the match, I knew they were going to win. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to believe it, but I knew they were going to. There's only been 3 tag team title matches all year long that the Usos have not been involved in.
They're definitely heavily involved.
Or the challengers.
Yeah, they're heavily involved in the sort of top of the tag team scene. And also coming out of it though, we got a Star and Goldust New Day feud.
And a random pairing for Tyson Kidd and Cesaro.
Is it random?
Seemed to be.
Yeah. I don't know. They could do something out of it. I doubt it. I doubt either of those people will be on the card for TLCS.
Probably not. The card's looking a little full at the moment for them to have a plate.
It's a lot of singles matches. Oh, well, with stipulations, I'm meaning like 2 people matches.
Yeah. And, yeah, we're going from one extreme to the other, aren't we?
Yeah. we go from 5-on-5s and 4-on-4s to singles, 1-on-1, 1-on-1, 1-on-1. Other than the tag team, is there any non-1-on-1 matches announced?
Not that I'm aware of. I think they're all 1-on-1 matches.
Wow. It'll be a fresh change, I guess. But, yeah, what do we got here? Stardust and Goldust got beat by the New Day, and then the New Day got beat by Kid and Cesaro.
In large part because of Stardust and Goldust coming back out.
Yeah.
The cost of the match.
And then,
there may or may not have been some tight pulling.
Maybe. Then the Usos beat Kid and Cesaro. And then Adam Rose and the Bunny just got obliterated. So Adam Rose and the Bunny, are we getting closer to that now, or?
Yeah, I think it's set to blow up after TLC. Maybe they'll do a segment during TLC and they'll do the blow up there.
I think it's like every single week we're saying it's getting closer. It's gonna happen. Are we ever going to see it? Or is the Bunny just going to leave? He's just going to hop off?
No, I think they've made too much of a point out of it not to do something.
And at the end of the match, The Miz gave Naomi his business card. And so did Mizdow.
Well, it's fun to watch what they're doing here. this is one of the ways they can incorporate Total Divas the right way in the storylines.
Yeah. For those who don't know. Yeah.
That slap that Jimmy gave to Miz looked like it was such a real slap.
I'd say it was.
If it wasn't, it was really, really good. But but he just leveled the Miz.
It's good to know that there's going to be something more behind this feud rather than just, they won the #1 contendership, now they're fighting for the title. Are we going to see a diva come into Miz and Mizdow's side?
Maybe, but I don't think they're going to be long enough for that to form.
Oh, you're breaking them up, are you?
Yeah, I'm breaking them up at a Royal Rumble.
Oh. Is that when Mizdow eliminates Miz?
I think it'll be the other way around. Then Mizdow will get pissed off, and finally, I think they'll lose the tag team titles earlier in the show.
Okay.
And I think it'll be because of Miz. Then Mizdow will be eliminated by Miz, and Mizdow will come back in and will eliminate the Miz and brawl him out of the arena.
Okay. Interesting. So we're not going to see Miz get eliminated and Mizdow just jump over the ropes?
No, we've already seen that. It wouldn't be very hilarious to see it a second time. We saw it once already.
Or we see Miz attempt a Kofi spot and then Damien attempt it?
Nah, that would be hilarious. I mean, that would be pretty hilarious, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, also,
especially if you had to do like a handstand.
Also, don't forget that at this year's Royal Rumble, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, and John Morrison are all returning. Just keep that in mind.
Well, there's a possibility that Shelton Benjamin might.
Yep, I've heard that.
WWE has filed for a trademark for his name.
It'll be interesting to see. Like, I'm guessing he'd come back in an RVD type role? I'm not entirely sure there.
As far as I'm aware of, Charlie Haas is retired.
Yeah, I don't know. I was listing off names. I could have put Chris Masters in there as well. I think Carlito. Aren't they always the ones rumored?
Carlito and Shelton Benjamin always are.
Yeah. I was listing off mid-carders of like 2007. Look, it's talking of mid-carders. No, it isn't really. It's CM Punk. It's his TNA theme. For those, 2 weeks he was in TNA.
He was there for a few weeks. Then he got pissed off at them because they wouldn't let him work at Ring of Honor. And he quit them.
This is the first company he quit. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. In the Raw where we left off, Eric Rowan versus Big Show, disqualification, steel steps leading up to TLCS match.
Yeah, I've liked how they built the feud, and I like that Rowan is going to get a chance to work with somebody who can actually put him over and make him look good. Rather than being thrown to Harper, and then you have a situation where neither person can really lose.
True. I don't know if it was on this Raw or later, I'm not entirely sure, but we did get a little more backstory on Eric Rowan. Yeah,
it was just before the match, they did a segment with Tom Phillips. And Phillips said that he had an IQ of 143, borderline genius level. That he was a classically trained guitar expert, a viner, which I think is and a winemaker.
So,
and then he slowly nods at these, and then just says that Big Show's a bully, and that's why he's targeting.
And solved his Rubik's Cube.
Yep.
It seems interesting. At least we're getting some character development with the guy, and we're not just going to leave him as this guy who says a few words and comes out in a sheep mask. Even though he still does come out in a sheep mask, even though the faction's dead. He's a genius that comes out in a sheep mask. I don't know where they're going, if they're going with, he was a genius who was bullied at school and now he hates bullies and he wears the sheep mask to get away from society or something like that. I don't know.
Or maybe he just gotten so used to wearing it, and that WWE doesn't want to change anything like that because it is what's part of what's gotten him over.
Shh, lies. It's a part of his character. Nothing is accidental. What do we got? Fandango. I'm gonna count it. Defeated Jack Swagger. It was by forfeit, but it counts.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. This is definitely building towards a U.S. title match for Rusev and Swagger.
And will Swagger hand Rusev his first loss?
No. I think it'll be Rock.
You're still going for that, aren't you?
Well, on the Slammies, they planted more seeds for it.
Shh, stop planting seeds. Spoilers for people.
Well, it was a pre-show thing, so it wasn't actually on the show.
Okay, I'll allow it. So you think we're going to see Rock Rusev? Hopefully not for a title.
Yeah, I don't think the title will be on the line, but I could see Rock handing Rusev his first loss.
Would you be happy with that? I know you generally dislike part-timers coming back and going over the younger talent.
Yeah, but with Rusev, he has a ceiling on him right now that I'm not sure would warrant him going over The Rock.
And I think even if he did lose, just working a match with The Rock might just bust him through that ceiling a little bit.
Yeah, especially if it caused some character development.
Yeah. He's still playing it up. So basically, Rusev attacked Zeb Coulter.
Apparently he broke his leg.
Legitimate?
Hey.
Legitimate makes this story so much more fun. Now there's two people hobbling around in a moon boot. We got Bailey and Coulter. Or at least in the last episode of NXT I watched, he was in a moon boot. And they play up the Russianness. Is he ever going to be going back to being a Bulgarian?
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm going to take that as a no. He's just going to forever be Russian. So we talked about Miz and Mizdow and the slap. Basically, Mizdow defeated Fernando with the figure four.
Yeah.
Mizdow picked up a win.
Yep. He still doesn't get to hold his tag team title.
He gets the toy tag team titles.
Yeah. He wins a title, finally, after all this time. Doesn't get to hold the actual title.
Yeah.
He'll probably win a Slammy and won't get to hold it.
I'm gonna guess that now. I haven't seen Raw or read anything about it too much, but I'm gonna presume that the amount he's nominated for, he's gonna win one, Miz is gonna take it, and he's gonna have a plastic one. I know they're selling replicas in WWEstore.com. So I figure it was...
Well, the only thing I know is that the World Heavyweight Championship replica has been seen on Raw more than the real title in the last 3 months.
Yeah. When's the replica been on?
Spoiler.
Okay. Cool.
Part of the Santa Foley segment for next week's Raw.
That's really confusing to someone who's never seen it. I'll just move on. Bray Wyatt versus the man who broke the streak. Wrong streak, but... R-Truth.
Yeah. It was an alright match. But what was more important was what happened afterwards.
Yep.
Ambrose broke Bray Wyatt's chair.
Not the chair.
Which Bray said was actually Sister Abigail's chair.
Oh, now he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Wyatt Ambrose. Pretty sure it's announced. TLC, yep. It's gonna be a match.
Yeah, they announced the TLC match at the last pay-per-view.
Short-term memory.
They announced it right during the show!
Yeah, we talked about it, out the back of my head. I don't know. Something about this match doesn't excite me.
Probably because it's a TLC match with nothing hanging above the ring.
That might be it. Maybe they'll just hang the rocking chair.
The rocking chair's busted up. Ambrose broke it.
Yeah, but you forget he has magical powers now. He can make ghosts appear, he can fix rocking chairs.
Well, he didn't fix it this week, that was for sure.
Oh. That's so sad. What, did he come out on one of those, push trolleys instead?
No.
Just nothing.
No, he just walked out to the ring. WWE adding time constraints, I guess, made it for a rather confusing entrance for him, because Heyman was coming out to accept an award for ending the streak, and at the end of Heyman's acceptance, that's when Bray's music started playing.
Okay. Bray Lesnar, confirmed?
No.
Okay. As long as he doesn't break the lantern, we're good. But I have a feeling that lantern might be going over Bray's head sometime in the coming weeks. We've shot past it. It's time for the current entrance theme of the week. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. We actually wanted to do this one last week, but it wasn't out yet. So now you get to listen to the beauty that is Eric Rowan's theme. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. We get a Divas match, and the WWE app gets to decide who is AJ Lee's partner against DeBellas.
Yeah, Naomi won. That wasn't really all that surprising. The surprising for me was that Natty got 32% of the vote.
People like Natty.
Yep.
Or they wanted to see Tyson Kidd, one or the other. But yeah, Naomi seems to be getting a bit of a role, whether it's with the Usos or on her own.
Naomi's a talented wrestler. That's for sure. But yeah, it's just a question of whether or not they're actually going to believe in her, because the last time they started a push for her, she ended up in a match with Oksana and ended up getting hurt, and they killed her push for it.
Yeah. It's not really her fault. But we'll blame her anyway. AJ made Nikki submit, so probably going to see AJ Nikki, I'm guessing, at TLCS?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see a rematch of that for the title.
And it probably will go the exact same way.
No, I think we'll actually have a real match this time.
I meant the finish, but okay.
No.
I mean Nikki retaining.
Yeah.
We're not going to see a 16-second kiss this time.
No.
The internet is disappointed. So Paul Heyman shows up, and he reminds us Brock Lesnar is still a thing, and still our champion.
Yep. A champion that hasn't been seen since Night of Champions.
Still a champion.
And yet, it always brings back the logical question, you stripped Daniel Bryan because he couldn't defend the title, but why is Lesnar still the champion when he's not around to defend the title?
Yeah, because he could defend it if he really wanted to.
Instead, he's in Minnesota on his farm with Sable.
Just using the title as a rake. I don't know. We're going to see him soon, aren't we? Not TLCS, the next one.
From what I understand, he's advertised to appear at the Raw after TLC.
Okay.
But there are rumors that he could appear during TLC.
Yeah, there's a chance. I think you were running on the him screwing over Cena and Rollins leading into a triple threat or something like that.
Yeah. I'd rather see a triple threat than see Cena versus Lesnar again.
It makes sense, especially since Rollins curb stomped Lesnar. And I know we saw it with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, and Rollins would still have his briefcase in the event that anything went wrong with the title match. So he would be protected with that.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems weird to be giving people title shots without them cashing in their briefcase, but when it's Brock Lesnar and he's demanding to get his revenge on Rollins, I guess it makes sense. Seems everybody wants a piece of Rollins. Ambrose,
Rollins
Cena.
is pretty much the top heel in the company right now.
Only because Lesnar doesn't count.
Well, Lesnar doesn't count because he's not around enough to count.
Can we count Paul Heyman?
Yeah, we can count Heyman.
Okay. What do we got? The main event, Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, and Ryback versus Kane, Harper, and Rollins.
This was a good six-man tag. It was really just the curtains for the big brawl at the end of the match.
Yeah.
I especially loved at the end when Rowan ran down carrying an extra pair of the stairs. I found that hilarious.
They just keep spare stairs backstage, you know, in case one of them get dented or...
Yeah. But yeah, I like how Rowan's getting over. Rowan is getting over with the fans.
It's the sheep mask. And the IQ.
But yeah, this was a decent match.
It set up the 3 TLCS matches.
Yeah, it was really... A lot of it was to build up for 3 of the TLCS matches. With Rusev and Swagger being announced on Raw this week. For the title.
Am I the only one that's getting really sick of calling it TLCS?
Yeah, even Michael Cole botched the name during the show.
What does he call it?
Well, he went tables, ladders, and chairs, and stairs.
Nah.
Rather than, but it wasn't just that. It was an awkward way that he also said it.
Yeah, I don't know. The pay-per-view title I think is tables, ladders, and chairs, ... and stairs. I think it's the textual title. So I have no idea how. I'm just going to call it TLCS. You can't yell at me for an acronym. But I guess we had to have a Steel Steps match, so you didn't have to rename the pay-per-view. Is it going to stick, though? Like, next year, are we going to have TLCS, or are we going to go back to TLC?
I think we'll go back to TLC.
It's basically Extreme Rules at this point, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of Extreme Rules, the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber is moving.
I heard. It's no longer between the Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's going to be later on in the year because there's really no point in an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view being in between WrestleMania and Royal Rumble with there only being one world champion.
Yeah. It makes sense. What are we going to get instead? Just a boring old vanilla pay-per-view?
Yeah. It's called WWE Fastlane.
Boo. Isn't that a John Cena game on the App Store?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Just checking on that. I didn't want to be crazy. Is that just what we're going to do? We're just going to sit down for 3 hours and watch people play John Cena's racing game?
That would be hilarious. No, I think it's going to be like Over the Limit was. Maybe have some cars on stage.
With John Cena driving one.
All he did at WrestleMania 23.
True. He smashed through glass, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that entrance. Okay, so
that was kind of symbolic of what he actually did that night, because he did shatter the glass ceiling that night.
True.
Even though he'd been champion for almost a full year, but he beat Triple H to a cinch to the absolute top of the card.
He became the Cena we know and love and hate today. So that's about all we got time for. It's been great talking to you.
Peace.
So you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, wrestlingroundup.host22.com. See you next week.